Nia Jackson strides into the first-class car of the Horizon Rail Line's train, her sharp gray suit crisp, only to find a smug white businessman sprawled in her seat, sneering, "You must be lost. Coach is back there." The conductor, Carl, a wiry guy with a pinched face, smirks and demands her ticket. She hands it over, cool as ice, and his jaw drops, her name glaring on the VIP list. Then a scream rips from the car ahead. "What's about to unravel? Before we dive in, tell us where you're watching from. If you're fired up for stories that flip prejudice on its head and champion justice, hit like, subscribe, and join the ride for more epic showdowns." Nia Jackson eases into her reclaimed seat, the plush leather creaking under her weight as the train hums out of Los Angeles, cutting through the dawn haze toward New York. Her victory over the smug businessman lingers like a faint pulse. But the air shifts fast. Eyes bore into her from every angle, sharp and cold, slicing through the first-class car's polished veneer. A woman in a cream cashmere sweater, pearls glinting at her throat, leans toward her husband, her voice a stage whisper that carries over the low rumble of the tracks. She doesn't belong here, does she? Probably some charity case. Her husband grunts, his jowls quivering as he nods, not even glancing Nia's way. Across the aisle, a guy in a pinstripe suit adjusts his cufflinks, his lips curling into a smirk as he mutters to his buddy, "Bet she's never even seen a place like this before." The words sting, but Nia keeps her face smooth, her hazel eyes fixed on the window where the city blurs into streaks of gray and gold. She's used to this, the way privilege cloaks itself in casual cruelty, but it never stops feeling like a blade twisting in her gut. Her fingers tighten around the armrest, nails digging into the soft padding, and she forces a slow breath. This isn't the fight she's picking. Not yet. She's got bigger battles brewing, ones these people can't even fathom. The cars. Ambient chatter dips as the conductor, Carl, shuffles back in, his wiry frame hunched like he's carrying a grudge. His pinched face twists into something resembling a smile, but it's all teeth, no warmth. He stops at Nia's row, his boots scuffing the carpet, and looms over her, his shadow falling across her lap. "Sorry about earlier, ma'am," he says, his tone dripping with mockery, the word ma'am sounding like a slur in his mouth. Before she can respond, he fumbles with a tray of coffee, the metal clattering loud enough to turn heads. Then, with a flick of his wrist that's too deliberate to be an accident, he tips a steaming cup right into her lap. The heat sears through her gray slacks, scalding her thighs, and she jolts upright, a hiss escaping her lips as the dark stain spreads. Carl steps back, his smirk widening, eyes glinting with something vicious. "Whoops, my bad," he drawls, not even pretending to mean it. The Pearl Lady gasps, theatrical and fake, clutching her chest like she's witnessing a tragedy, but her lips twitch upward. "Oh my goodness, how clumsy," she says, loud enough for the whole car to hear, her voice a mix of pity and glee. Pinstripe suit snickers, leaning forward to get a better look, his buddy elbowing him as they share a low, guttural laugh. Nia's skin burns, not just from the coffee but from the weight of their stares, the way they're feeding off her discomfort like it's a damn show. She grabs a napkin from the tray, blotting the mess, her movements sharp and controlled. Her pulse hammers, but she won't give them the satisfaction of seeing her crack. She's been here before, in boardrooms and backrooms, where people like them think they can break her with a look or a spill. They're wrong. She lifts her gaze to Carl, locking eyes with him, her voice steady as granite. "I need your name and badge number. Now." The demand cuts through the car, crisp and unyielding, and for a split second, his smirk falters, a flicker of unease crossing his sallow face. Then he recovers, puffing out his chest, his bony fingers brushing the badge, pinned to his navy vest. "Carl Withers, badge 573, he says, his tone taunting like he's daring her to do something about it. "Good luck with that, sweetheart. Accidents happen." He turns on his heel, sauntering off toward the front of the car, his boots thudding with every step, leaving a trail of snickers in his wake. The Pearl Lady clucks her tongue, shaking her head as if Nia's the one who's out of line, and Pinstripe Suit mutters, "Some people just can't handle first class." Nia's jaw tightens, her teeth grinding together, but she doesn't snap back. She's not here to trade barbs with small-minded fools. She's here to survive this trip, to get to New York and take the reins of Horizon Rail Lines, a secret she's holding close until the moment's right. But Carl's move wasn't just petty, it was personal, and she's not letting it slide. She slips her phone from her jacket pocket, the screen glowing faintly as she taps out a quick text to her assistant, Maya, who's 3 time zones away but always on call. Dig up everything on Carl Withers, conductor, badge 573. Complaints, history, dirt, fast. She hits send, the message zipping off into the ether, and tucks the phone away, her mind already racing. The coffee's cooling now, sticky against her skin. But the heat in her chest is growing, a slow burn of resolve. She glances around the car, taking in the faces, the sneers, the way they've already dismissed her as a nobody. They think this is the end of it, that she'll shrink into her seat and take their crap. They're dead wrong. That scream from the car ahead still echoes in her ears, a jagged note of chaos she can't place yet. But it's a warning. Something's coming. Something bigger than a spilled drink or a stolen seat. And she's damn sure Carl's tied to it. The train picks up speed, the landscape outside shifting from urban sprawl to open desert, sand stretching endless under a bruising sky. Nia leans back, crossing her legs despite the damp fabric clinging to her thighs, her posture defiant. The Pearl Lady catches her eye and looks away fast, like she's been caught staring at something she shouldn't. Good. Let them squirm. Nia's not just some passenger they can toy with. She's a force they don't see coming, and this little stunt is just the first spark in a fire she's about to ignite. Carl thinks he's won this round, humiliating her in front of everyone, but he's got no idea who he's messing with. She's got power they can't imagine, a title that'll flip their world upside down, and she's already plotting her next move. The train rattles on, the hum of the rails a steady pulse beneath her feet, and she lets her mind settle, sharp and focused. This isn't over, not by a long shot. She's got Maya digging, and when the dirt comes back, Carl's smirk will be the least of his worries. The passengers keep whispering, their voices a low buzz of judgment, but Nia tunes them out. She's not here for their approval. She's here to take what's hers, and if they think a coffee spill's enough to stop her, they're in for a brutal wake-up call. The car feels smaller now, the air thick with their disdain, but Nia sits taller, her spine straight, her eyes glinting with something fierce. This is just the beginning, and she's ready for whatever comes next. The train screeches to a halt in Salt Lake City, wheels grinding against the rails as the first-class car jolts, spilling a few passengers' drinks. Nia Jackson shifts in her damp seat, the coffee stain still clinging to her slacks like a badge of Carl's spite. Her ribs ache from the tension, but she needs air, a break from the suffocating glares of the Pearl Lady and pinstripe suit. She stands, smoothing her gray jacket, and steps onto the platform, the dry Utah wind whipping her, braids across her face. The station buzzes with travelers, their suitcases clattering over the concrete, but Nia keeps her head high, her stride steady despite the whispers trailing her from the car. She's barely 10 feet from the train when a shadow looms, heavy and deliberate. A security guard, built like a linebacker with a buzz cut and a scowl, plants himself in her path, his meaty hand raised. "Hold up, lady," he barks, his voice a gravelly boom that turns heads. "We've got a problem." Nia stops, her pulse quickening, but her face stays calm, a mask she's perfected over years of navigating traps like this. "What's the issue?" she asks, her tone even, though she's already scanning him, clocking the way his eyes narrow, the way his stance screams trouble. He snorts, folding his arms across his chest, his badge glinting under the station lights. "Got a report of a stolen wallet. Description matches you to a T." Her stomach twists, but she doesn't flinch. This isn't random. It's Carl. She knows it in her bones. Before she can speak, he's on her, his hands rough as he pats her down, fingers digging into her shoulders, her hips, like she's a criminal caught red-handed. A crowd gathers, phones out, recording, their murmurs swelling into a hum of accusation. "Typical," a man in a cowboy hat mutters, loud enough to carry. "Always causing trouble." Nia's jaw tightens, her nails biting into her palms. but she keeps her voice steady. "I haven't taken anything. Check my bag if you want proof." The guard smirks, yanking her leather tote from her arm and dumping it onto the platform. Lipstick, a notebook, her wallet scatter across the concrete, and then, with a theatrical flourish, he pulls out a slim black wallet that isn't hers. "Well, look at this," he says, holding it up like a trophy, his grin wide and ugly. The crowd gasps, a woman clutching her purse tighter, her eyes darting to Nia with disgust. "That's not mine," Nia says, her voice cutting through the noise, sharp and clear. "Someone planted it." The guard laughs, a harsh, barking sound, and steps closer, towering over her. "Sure, sweetheart. Tell it to the cops." Her mind races, piecing it together, Carl's smirk flashing in her memory. He's behind this, turning a coffee spill into a full-on frame job. She's about to demand they call the police. Let this play out fair when a wiry figure slips through the crowd, Carl himself, his pinched face alight with glee. "Found it, huh?" he calls to the guard, his voice oily with triumph. "Told you she's trouble." Nia's blood boils, but she's not going down like this. She spins on Carl, her eyes blazing, and takes a gamble. "If you're so sure, let's search you too. Right here, right now, in front of everyone." The crowd hushes, head swiveling to Carl, who freezes, his smirk twitching. The guard hesitates, glancing between them, but before he can act, the train whistle shrieks, a long, piercing wail that cuts the tension like a knife. "Boarding now!" A voice crackles over the speakers, and the crowd scatters, dragging the guards' focus with them. Carl bolts back to the train, his boots pounding the platform, and Nia seizes the moment, snatching her bag and its spilled contents before the guard can stop her. He lunges, his fingers grazing her arm, but she's too quick, slipping into the stream of passengers and back onto the first-class car. Her heart slams against her ribs as she sinks into her seat, the wallet still in the guard's meaty fist, but she's free for now. The car's quieter, the pearl lady in pinstripe suit staring openly, their lips pursed in silent judgment. "Thief!" the pearl lady hisses under her breath, just loud enough for Nia to hear, and pinstripe suit nods, his cufflinks flashing as he crosses his arms. She's a pariah now, the planted wallet branding her in their eyes, and the weight of it presses down, heavy and suffocating. But Nia's not done. She pulls out her phone, her fingers trembling slightly, as she fires off another text to Maya. "Carl Withers set me up. Wallet planted in Salt Lake. Check his ties to security there. Hurry." The message sends, and she leans back, her mind churning. Maya's last reply about Carl's complaint history pings in her memory, a thread she's tugging harder now. This isn't just petty revenge, it's coordinated, and Carl's not smart enough to pull it off alone. Someone's feeding him moves, someone with pull, and Nia's determined to find out who. The train lurches forward, pulling away from Salt Lake, the desert outside stretching vast and unforgiving under a sky turning bruise purple. Her thighs still sting from the coffee, her pride stings worse from the crowd's jeers, but she sits tall, her spine rigid, her gaze fixed on the horizon. Carl thinks he's got her cornered. The passengers think she's beaten, but they're wrong. She's got a fight in her they can't touch, a power they don't suspect, and this little stunt's just fuel on her fire. The car rattles, the hum of the rails a steady drumbeat, and she lets her breath even out, her resolve hardening. This is war now, and she's playing to win. Hey, what do you think about Carl framing Nia like that? Comment number 1 if you're raging at how low he'll stoop to tear her down, or number 2 if you think she's got the guts to turn this around. Like this video if you're rooting for Nia to flip the script, and subscribe to catch every twist as she fights back. Has someone ever tried to pin something on you just to watch you fall? Drop your story below, let's get this convo rolling. So, what's Carl cooking up next, and how's Nia gonna dodge the heat? Stick around to find out. The train barrels out of Salt Lake City, cutting through the dusk as shadows stretch long and jagged across the desert floor. Nia Jackson slumps in her first-class seat, the damp coffee stain on her slacks now a cold, sticky reminder of Carl's spite, her tote bag clutched tight after the wallet fiasco. Her phone's dark, no reply from Maya yet, and the weight of the passengers' stares presses harder, their whispers buzzing like flies around a wound. The Pearl Lady's voice drifts over, sharp and smug. She's a menace, probably dangerous. Pinstripe suit grunts in agreement, his polished shoes tapping the floor like he's itching to kick her out himself. Nia's ribs throb, her patience fraying, and she decides she's done soaking in their venom. She needs space, a breather, something to clear the fog of rage clouding her head. She stands, her gray jacket creased but her posture unbroken, and heads for the first-class lounge at the car's rear, her heels clicking against the polished wood. The door slides open with a soft hiss, revealing a pocket of luxury, velvet armchairs in deep burgundy, a gleaming oak bar stocked with crystal decanters, and floor-to-ceiling windows framing the endless sands outside. It's empty, quiet, a sanctuary from the car's hostility, and Nia exhales, her shoulders loosening as she sinks into a chair near the bar. The leather cradles her, cool against her skin, and for a moment she closes her eyes, letting the train's steady rumble soothe her frayed nerves. She's plotting her next move, piecing together Carl's game, when the door clicks shut behind her, the sound too deliberate to be accidental. Her eyes snap open, and there he is, Carl Withers, his wiry frame filling the doorway, his pinched face twisted into a grin that's all teeth and malice. He turns the lock with a slow, grinding twist, the bolt snapping into place and Nia's pulse spikes, her body tensing like a coiled spring. "Thought you'd hide out here, huh?" he says, his voice low and oily, dripping with contempt. He steps closer, his boots thudding against the carpet, his badge glinting under the lounge's soft lights. "No one's coming to help you now, princess." Nia's on her feet in a flash, her tote dropping to the floor with a dull thud, her hands curling into fists. "Back off, Carl," she warns, her tone steady but edged with steel, her hazel eyes locked on his. He laughs, a harsh grating sound, and lunges, grabbing her phone from the bar where she'd set it. Before she can react, he smashes it against the oak, the screen shattering into a spiderweb of cracks, glass skittering across the polished surface. "Oops," he sneers, his breath hot and sour as he leans in, close enough she can see the sweat beading on his forehead. "Guess you're cut off now." Rage flares in her chest, white hot and blinding, and she moves, shoving him hard with both hands. He stumbles, his bony frame crashing into a side table, the lamp atop it wobbling precariously as he howls, clutching his side. "You'll pay for that," he spits, his face red with fury. But Nia's already at the door, her fingers fumbling with the lock. It clicks open, and she bolts, her heart pounding as she bursts into the narrow corridor beyond, Carl's curses echoing behind her. She hears him scramble up, his boots pounding, but she doesn't look back, her legs pumping as she weaves through. The train's guts past humming machinery and stacked crates. Shouts erupt from the first-class car ahead, passengers banging on the lounge door, their voices a jumbled roar. "She attacked him! Get her!" The Pearl Lady's shrill cry cuts through, and Nia realizes Carl's spun it already, painting her as the aggressor. Her breath hitches, her ribs screaming from the shove, but she keeps moving, ducking into a service corridor lined with pipes and flickering bulbs. The walls close in, the air thick with oil and dust, and she presses herself against a metal panel, her chest heaving as she listens. Footsteps thunder past, Carl's voice barking orders. "Find her! She's dangerous!" Nia's mind races, her sanctuary turned into a trap, her escape flipping the script against her. She's not just a thief to them now, she's a violent threat, and Carl's playing it to the hilt. Her smashed phone means no lifeline to Maya, no way to call for backup, and the passengers' shouts mean they're hunting her too. She slides down the wall, crouching low, her braids brushing the grimy floor as she catches her breath. This isn't random anymore. Carl's not just a petty bully. He's got a plan, and someone's backing him. Someone who wants her gone before she reaches New York. Her fingers trace the cracked edge of her tote, the only thing she grabbed in her rush, and she pulls out her notebook, its pages creased but intact. She flips it open, her neat handwriting staring back, notes on Horizon rail lines. Her new role as CEO, the power she's keeping under wraps. Carl doesn't know who she is, not yet, but whoever's pulling his strings might, and this attack feels like a test, a push to see if she'll break. She won't. The corridor's dim light flickers, casting jagged shadows across her face, and she tucks the notebook away, her resolve hardening. She's got no phone, no allies here, but she's got her wits, and that's enough for now. The train lurches, picking up speed as it plunges deeper into the night, the desert outside a blur of black and silver. Carl's voice fades. The passengers clamor, dulling to a distant hum, and Nia stands, her jaw set, her eyes glinting with defiance. She beat him in there, got out alive, but they think she's running scared. Let them. She's not hiding, she's regrouping, and when she strikes back, they won't see it coming. Her ribs ache, her slacks chafe, but she moves deeper into the service corridor, her steps silent, her mind sharp. Carl's escalated this to a new level, locking her in, smashing her lifeline, framing her as a thug, and she's got no doubt he's reporting back to someone bigger, someone who's watching her every move. The scream from the car ahead, the one that cut through her first standoff, gnaws at her, a loose thread she can't tie yet. Was it a distraction? A signal? She's got no answers, just questions piling up like storm clouds, but she's sure of one thing. This train's a battlefield now, and she's not losing. The air grows colder, the pipes hissing around her, and she keeps going, her silhouette fading into the shadows, a ghost they can't catch, not yet. Nia Jackson crouches in the service corridor, the train's underbelly a maze of pipes and flickering lights, her breath fogging in the chilly air. Her ribs pulse with pain from shoving Carl, her gray slacks stiff with dried coffee, and her tote hangs heavy on her shoulder, the notebook inside her only anchor. The distant hum of the first-class car's outrage fades, but Carl's voice still rings in her ears. Find her. She's dangerous. She's a hunted woman now, framed as a violent thief, and her smashed phone cuts her off from Maya, from any lifeline. The corridor's walls press close, metal cold against her palms, and she knows she can't stay here, exposed like a rabbit, in a snare. Footsteps echo somewhere ahead, sharp and purposeful, and her pulse kicks up, urging her to move. She edges forward, her heels silent on the grimy floor, braids swaying as she scans for an out. A door looms at the corridor's end, stenciled with staff only in peeling red paint, and she slips through, the hinges creaking softly as it shuts behind her. The staff car opens up, a cramped space cluttered with lockers, a folding table, and a single bulb swinging overhead, casting jittery shadows. A man stands near the table, tall and lean, his dark skin gleaming under the light, his porter's uniform crisp despite the late hour. He turns, his eyes widening as he spots her, and Nia freezes, her muscles tensing for a fight. "Whoa, easy," he says, raising his hands, his voice low and smooth, a faint southern drawl curling the edges. "You look like you're in a bind. I'm Jamal." His badge reads, Porter J. Ellis, and his smile is warm, disarming, a flicker of kindness in this hellhole of a train. Nia's guard stays up, but her gut softens, desperate for an ally after Carl's ambush. "I need to lay low," she says, her tone clipped, testing him. "Can you help?" Jamal nods, his expression steady. "Yeah, I heard the commotion. Sounds like they're after you hard. Follow me. I'll stash you somewhere safe." Relief washes over her, fragile but real, and she follows as he leads her through a side hatch into a narrow nook behind the lockers, a cubby piled with blankets and spare uniforms. "Stay here," he whispers, his breath brushing her ear. "I'll keep watch." She nods, sinking into the shadows, her tote clutched tight as he steps back, closing the hatch with a soft click. The space is tight, the air thick with the scent of starch and dust, but it's a shield, a moment to breathe. She leans against the wall, her mind racing, piecing together Carl's moves, the planted wallet, the lounge attack. Jamal's kindness feels like a lifeline, a crack of light in the dark, and she lets herself hope, just for a second, that she's not alone in this fight. Then she hears it, a low crackle, muffled but distinct, Jamal's voice filtering through the hatch. "She's here," he says, his tone shifting, sharp and cold, nothing like the warmth he'd shown her. "Back of the lockers, just like you said." Nia's blood turns to ice, her breath catching as the truth slams home. He's not her savior, he's a snake, feeding her to Carl. A radio squawks. Carl's voice barking back. Good work, keep eye. Her pinned. We're coming. Her heart pounds, a frantic drumbeat, and she scrambles, shoving the hatch open with her shoulder, the wood scraping her arm as she tumbles out. Jamal spins, his eyes wide with shock, but she's already moving, darting past him as he lunges, his fingers snagging her jacket. Wait! He yells, but she rips free, bolting for the door as heavy boots thunder closer, Carl's crew closing in. She bursts back into the service corridor, her legs burning as she sprints, the staff car's hatch slamming shut behind her. Carl's voice roars, she's loose! And two guards barrel around the corner, their hulking frames filling the narrow space, batons gleaming in their fists. Nia dives behind a stack of crates, her ribs screaming as she lands hard, the wood splintering against her elbow. The guards charge past, their boots shaking the floor, and she holds her breath, her body pressed flat until their steps fade. The train's intercom crackles overhead, Carl's voice booming through every car. Attention passengers. We've got a dangerous individual on board, female, mid-30s, dark hair, gray suit. Report any sightings immediately. Her description blares, branding her a fugitive, and Nia's stomach twists, the betrayal cutting deeper than Carl's baton ever could. She crawls from the crates, her hands shaking as she stumbles into a baggage car, the space dim and cavernous, piled high with suitcases and trunks. She wedges herself behind a towering stack, her breath ragged, her mind spinning. Jamal's face flashes in her head, his fake smile, his radio call, and she curses herself for trusting him, for letting her guard slip even for a moment. This isn't just Carl now. It's a network, a trap tightening around her, and Jamal's part of it, a pawn or a player, she can't tell yet. Her tote digs into her side, the notebook inside a lifeline she can't use without a phone, and she grips it tighter, her knuckles whitening. The train rocks, speeding through the night, the desert outside a void of black, and she forces her breathing to slow, her resolve steeling. She escaped the lounge, dodged the guards, but this betrayal flips the game, turning a flicker of hope into a noose. Carl's announcement means every passenger's her enemy now, eyes peeled to hunt her down, and Jamal sold her out, proving no one's safe to trust. She peers through a gap in the baggage, the car silent but alive with threat. Every creak, a potential footstep. Her ribs throb, her arm stings from the hatch, but she pushes it down, her mind sharpening. This is bigger than Carl, bigger than a conductor's grudge. Someone's orchestrating this, someone who knows she's a threat, and Jamal's call confirms it. The scream from the first day, the wallet, the lounge, now this. It's a pattern, a machine grinding her down, but she's not breaking. She shifts, her knees aching against the floor, and scans the car, plotting her next move. She's got no phone, no allies, just her wits and a title they don't suspect. CEO of Horizon Rail Lines, a secret she's holding like a loaded gun. The baggage car's shadows swallow her, the trains rumble a steady pulse, and she waits, her eyes glinting with fury. Carl thinks he's got her running, Jamal thinks he's trapped her, but they're wrong. She's not prey, she's a predator biding her time, and when she strikes, they'll feel it. Nia Jackson huddles in the baggage car, her body wedged between a towering stack of suitcases and a cold steel wall, the train's rumble vibrating through her bones. Her gray suit's torn at the elbow from Jamal's grab, her ribs ache from Carl's earlier shove, and her tote rests heavy against her hip, the notebook inside her only tether to sanity. The intercom's echo of Carl's voice still burns in her ears. Dangerous individual, female, mid-30s, dark hair, gray suit, turning every passenger into a hunter with her name on their lips. Her breath steadies, shallow and quiet, as she scans the dim space, shadows shifting with every jolt of the tracks. A glint catches her eye, a discarded tablet half buried under a duffel bag, its screen cracked but glowing faintly. She snags it, her fingers trembling as she swipes. It on the Wi-Fi signal weak but alive. The screen flares and her stomach drops. A live social media feed loading with a video pinned at the top, posted by C. Withers 73. It's her in the lounge, shoving Carl into the table, but the footage is chopped, twisted, making her look like a wild animal lunging unprovoked. His howls dubbed over with a fake scream, and the caption reads, "Caught this thug attacking me on Horizon Rail. Stay safe, folks." Comments flood in, a torrent of venom. Should have known, typical behavior. Lock her up. She's why we can't have nice things. Each word laced with racial slurs that hit like fists. Nia's chest tightens, her nails digging into her palms, the public shaming a blade sharper than Carl's coffee spill or Jamal's betrayal. Her face, her name, her fight, all warped into a monster for the world to hate, and she's trapped here, powerless to stop it. She forces her mind to focus, her hazel eyes narrowing as she hacks the train's Wi-Fi, a trick she picked up in her tech days before Horizon. The signal's spotty, but she logs into a burner account, her fingers flying as she types a message to Maya. Carl posted a fake video, lounge attack, gone viral. Dig deeper, find his boss. I'm in baggage, no phone. She hits send, the tablet's battery blinking at 10%, and tucks it under her arm, her lifeline now a ticking clock. The video's views climb, 20,000, 30,000, the hate spreading like wildfire. And she knows this isn't just Carl's petty revenge, it's a calculated strike, someone bigger flexing muscle. Her assistant's last text about Carl's complaint history flashes in her mind, and now this, a public execution of her reputation. She's about to stash the tablet when a noise cuts through the car's hum, a creak, then a thud, boots on metal. Her pulse spikes, and she peers through a gap in the suitcases, spotting two guards sweeping the space, their flashlights slicing the dark. She's gotta be here, one grunts, his voice thick with menace, his baton tapping a trunk. Nia ducks, lower, her breath held, the tablet's glow dimmed as she powers it off. The guards prowl closer, their beams dancing inches from her hiding spot, and she shifts, silent as a ghost, sliding toward a hatch in the floor. Her fingers pry it open, the hinges groaning faintly, and she drops through, landing hard on a maintenance platform below, her knees jarring against steel. The hatch snaps shut just as a guard's light sweeps over it, his curse muffled above. She's out, but not safe, the platform swaying as the train speeds through the night, the desert a black void beyond the rails. Her mind churns, the video's reach gnawing at her, but Maya's reply pings in her head, a lifeline from before her phone died. Carl's tied to Richard Hale, ops chief, racist past. Nia's lips press thin, Hale's name a thunderclap, a man she's clashed with in boardrooms, a relic who'd sneered at her rise. This is his game, Carl's puppet master, and the video's his opening salvo, turning her into a pariah before she can claim her throne. She clutches the tablet, its battery at 8%, and crawls along the platform, the wind howling past, tugging at her braids. The train's undercarriage groans, pipes and wires a tangled mess above her, and she finds a nook near the coupling, a sliver of cover. Her ribs scream, her elbow throbs, but she sits tall, her back against cold metal, her mind racing. The video's a weapon, but she's not defenseless, not yet. She's got Maya digging, Hale's name in her sights, and a title they don't suspect. CEO of Horizon Rail Lines, a secret she'll wield when the moment's right. The guard's footsteps fade, their search moving on, but the intercom crackles. Again, Carl's voice smug. She's still loose, folks. Keep your eyes peeled. Nia's jaw clenches. The passengers cheers from above a dull roar, their hate fueled by Hale's lie. She's not just a target now, she's a spectacle, and the stakes are climbing, her reputation shredded on a global stage. The tablet screen flickers, 7%, and she powers it back on, checking the feed. 50,000 views, the comments a cesspool, and she shuts it off, her stomach churning. This isn't over, it's escalating, and Hale's pulling strings she can't see yet. The train plunges deeper into the night, the desert wind biting her skin, and she tucks the tablet into her tote, her resolve hardening. Carl's video thinks it's buried her, but she's not dead, she's plotting, and when she rises, they'll choke on their own lies. Hey, how messed up is it that Carl's turned Nia into a viral villain? Comment number 1, if you're furious at how quick people pile on with hate, or number 2, if you think she's got the smarts to flip this nightmare. Like this video if you're hooked on her fight against these snakes, and subscribe to see her claw her way back. Ever had a lie blow up your life like that? Spill it below. Let's unpack this mess together. So, what's Nia gonna do with that? Tablet, and how's Hale planning to tighten the screws? Stay tuned, it's about to get wild. Nia Jackson clings to the maintenance platform beneath the baggage car. The train's undercarriage a roaring beast as it tears through the desert night at 60 miles an hour. The wind howls, sharp and frigid, whipping her braids into a frenzy, and tugging at her torn gray suit, the tablet in her towed a fragile lifeline with its battery dwindling at 7%. Her ribs throb from Carl's shove in the lounge, her elbow stings from Jamal's grab, and the viral video's hate still burns in her mind. 50,000 views of lies branding her a thug. She can't stay here, exposed on this swaying slab of steel, with guards scouring the cars above and passengers baying for her blood. Her hazel eyes scan the platform's edge, spotting a ladder bolted to the side, leading up to the train's roof. It's a risk, but staying put means capture, and she's not letting Carl or Hale win that easy. She crawls forward, her knees scraping metal, and grips the ladder, the rungs icy under her palms. The wind bites harder as she climbs, her tote bouncing against her hip, and she hauls herself onto the roof, the vast black expanse of the train stretching out beneath a starless sky. Her feet slip on the slick surface, the speed turning every step into a battle. But she steadies herself, crouching low, her breath fogging in the chill. The desert blurs past, a void of sand and shadow, and for a moment she's alone, the roar of the wind drowning out the chaos below. Then a shout cuts through, raw and furious. There she is! Nia spins, her heart slamming against her ribs, and sees Carl clambering up from a hatch 50 feet back, his wiry frame hunched against the gusts, a baton clutched in his fist. Behind him, a guard follows, bulkier, his flashlight beam slicing the dark, pinning her like a spotlight. She bolts, her heels skidding as she runs along the roof, the train's hum a thunderous pulse beneath her. Carl's faster than he looks, his boots pounding the metal, and he closes the gap, his baton swinging wild. "You're done, princess!" he yells, his voice shredded by the wind, and he lunges, the baton cracking down. Nia twists, the blow grazing her side, but it catches her ribs, a jolt of pain exploding through her chest. She gasps, stumbling, her knees buckling, but she rolls, dodging as the guard charges, his meaty fist aiming for her skull. She scrambles up, her lungs burning, and kicks out, her heel slamming into Carl's shin. He howls, staggering back, his baton clattering across the roof, and she grabs it, her fingers wrapping tight around the rubber grip. The guard roars, barreling toward her, but she swings, the baton cracking his knee, sending him sprawling. Carl recovers, his face a mask of rage, and tackles her, his bony arms locking around her waist. They hit the roof hard, her back slamming metal, and he straddles her, his fists raining down. She blocks with her arms, pain blooming across her forearms, and bucks, throwing him off. He slides toward the edge, his hands clawing at the slick surface, and dangles, his legs kicking over the drop, 60 feet to the tracks below. "Help me!" he screams, his voice cracking, his pinched face pale with terror. Nia's ribs scream, her breath ragged, but she crawls to him, her instincts kicking in despite everything. She grabs his wrist, her muscles straining as she pulls, the wind tearing at them both. His weight drags her forward, her knees scraping, but she hauls him up, his boots scrabbling back onto the roof. He collapses, panting, and for a split second she thinks it's over, a flicker of mercy softening her glare. Then he lunges, his shoulder slamming into her chest, shoving her toward the edge. "You should have let me fall," he snarls, his hands pushing her back, her heels teetering over the void. The guard's back on his feet, limping but closing in, and Nia's arms flail, grasping for anything. Her fingers snag a vent pipe, the metal biting her skin, and she pulls, her body swinging back onto solid ground as Carl stumbles, off balance. The guard grabs her ankle, yanking hard, and she kicks, her heel smashing his nose, blood spraying across the roof. He reels, clutching his face, and she scrambles away, her tote slipping but still hooked on her shoulder. Carl's on her again, his fist grazing her jaw, but she ducks, shoving him into the guard, their bodies tangling as they crash against a skylight. Nia runs, her legs shaking, the roof stretching endless ahead, the wind a deafening roar. She finds a hatch, wrenching it open, and drops back into the baggage car, landing hard on a pile of trunks, her ribs crying out. Above, the passengers' cheers filter through, faint but chilling. "Get her, throw her off!" They saw it, they wanted it, their hate a chorus egging Carl on. She drags herself behind a suitcase stack, her chest heaving, blood trickling from a cut on her lip. Her tote's intact, the tablet still inside, and she clutches it, her mind racing. Carl's mercy was a mistake. His payback a death sentence she barely dodged, and Hale's shadow looms larger, this attack too brutal for a lone conductor's grudge. The train rocks, the desert night pressing against the walls, and she wipes her lip, her eyes blazing with fury. She's alive, but battered, her ribs cracked, her strength fading, and the passenger's bloodlust means nowhere safe. Carl's up there, plotting, and the guards licking his wounds. But they're not done. Not by a long shot. She pulls, the tablet out, its screen flickering on, 5% battery. The video's views now at 70,000, the hate a tidal wave she can't outrun. Her fingers hover, her breath shallow, and she tucks it back, her resolve stealing. This isn't just survival now, it's war, and she's got a title they don't know. CEO of Horizon Rail Lines, a weapon she'll unleash when they least expect it. The baggage car's shadows swallow her, the trains rumble a steady drum, and she waits, her body broken but her spirit unbowed, ready for the next blow. Nia Jackson huddles in the baggage car, her body a map of bruises, her ribs pulsing with every shallow breath, the taste of blood lingering on her split lip from Carl's rooftop fist. Her gray suit hangs in tatters, torn at the elbow and stained with coffee. Her tote a battered shield against her hip, the tablet inside clinging to 5% battery. The train barrels toward Chicago, the desert giving way to flat, snowy plains, the night outside a blur of white and black. The passengers' cheers from above still echo in her skull. "Throw her off!" A savage chant that followed her escape from the roof, their hate a noose tightening with every mile. She can't stay here, pinned between suitcases with Carl and his guard licking their wounds, plotting their next strike. Her hazel eyes flick to a service hatch, a sliver of hope in the car's dim wall, and she crawls toward it, her knees scraping wood, her ribs screaming as she pries it open. Cold air rushes in, sharp and biting, and she slips through, dropping onto a snowy platform at the next stop, Chicago's Union Station looming under a sky heavy with clouds. Her boots crunch ice as she stumbles away from the train, her breath fogging, her body trembling but her mind sharp. She needs a phone, a lifeline to her lawyer, someone to counter Hale's machine before it crushes her. The station's chaos swallows her, travelers bustling with bags, their voices a dull roar, and she spots a payphone near a newsstand, its metal scratched but glowing under fluorescent lights. She digs quarters from her tote, her fingers numb, and dials, the line crackling as it connects. "Nia?" Her lawyer, Elena Ortiz, answers, her voice crisp despite the late hour. "Where are you?" Nia leans against the booth, her words clipped. "Chicago stop. They're framing me. Assault. Theft, everything. It's Hale, he's behind it." Elena's silent for a beat, then, "Stay put. I've got your Horizon contract, CEO proof. I'll get you out." Nia nods, relief flickering, and hangs up, her eyes scanning the platform. She's safe, she thinks, just for a moment, the law on her side at last. Then boots thunder, a swarm of cops bursting through the crowd, their badges glinting, guns drawn. Nia Jackson, hands up, one bellows, a stocky man with a buzz cut, his face hard as stone. Her stomach drops, her hands rising slow, the cold biting her skin. "What's the charge?" she asks, her voice steady despite the tremor in her legs. Buzzcut smirks, snapping cuffs on her wrists, the metal biting deep. "Assault on a conductor, theft in Salt Lake, resisting arrest." "You're done, lady." The crowd parts, phones out, filming as they drag her across the platform, her boots slipping on ice, her tote yanked from her shoulder. "She's the one from the video!" a woman shrieks, her voice shrill, and murmurs ripple. "Criminal, dangerous." Each word a racial jab cloaked in righteous glee. Nia's jaw clenches, her mind racing, Hale's name a drumbeat in her head. This isn't Carl's petty grudge, it's a legal ambush. Witnesses bought, charges stacked, a trap sprung the second she thought she'd won. They shove her into a squad car, the door slamming, and the station blurs as they peel out, sirens wailing. Her cuffs dig in, her ribs ache, but she sits tall, her eyes blazing through the window at the snowy streets. At the precinct, they toss her into a holding cell, a concrete box stinking of sweat and bleach, the bars clanging shut. She paces, her mind churning. Hale's ops chief title a shadow over every move, his reach strangling her from afar. Hours crawl by, the clock ticking past midnight, and then the door buzzes. Elena storming in, her navy coat crisp, a file thick in her hands. "They've got nothing real," she says, her voice low and fierce. "Fake witnesses, planted evidence. I've got your CEO docs, bail's set. You're out." Nia exhales, her shoulders easing and the cuffs come off, her wrists raw but free. Elena hands her the tote, the tablet still inside. And they march out, the cops scowling but silent. She's won, she thinks. The law bending to truth for once. And she boards the train again at dawn, the Chicago skyline fading as it lurches forward. Her seat's empty, the pearl lady in pinstripe suit gone, replaced by new faces, but the air shifts as she sits, whispers snaking through the car. The intercom crackles, Richard Hale's voice booming, smooth and venomous. "Passengers, be advised, Nia Jackson, arrested last night, is back among you. Stay vigilant." Her blood runs cold, her victory shredded in an instant. Hale's counterstrike, a public gut punch. The car erupts, passengers turning, their eyes wide with fear and hate. A man in a red cap spits, "Criminal," and hurls a crumpled coffee cup, the lid bursting, splashing her face with lukewarm dregs. A woman in a fur coat throws a magazine, the pages flapping as it hits her chest, and others join, trash pelting her. Apple cores, wrappers, a half-eaten sandwich smearing mustard across her torn sleeve. Nia shields her face, her ribs throbbing. The assault a brutal echo of Carl's coffee spill, but worse, a mob fueled by Hale's lie. "Get out!" a teen yells, his voice cracking, and the chant swells. "Out! Out!" She stands, her legs shaking, and moves to the aisle, her tote clutched tight, her dignity battered but intact. The barrage stops, their breath heavy. There glares a wall of loathing, and she heads for the baggage car, her sanctuary from before, the only place they won't follow. Her boots echo in the empty space, the suitcases looming like silent witnesses, and she sinks behind a stack, her chest heaving, mustard streaking her arm. The tablet's at 3%, the video's views at 90,000. Hale's legal trap a masterstroke she barely slipped. Her lawyer's win was real, but this public humiliation, this trash-throwing frenzy, is Hale's revenge. Turning her freedom into a cage of hate, she wipes her face, her fingers trembling, and tucks the tablet away, her mind sharpening. Carl's a pawn, Hale's the king, and this train's a battlefield she's losing ground on. Her ribs crack with every breath, her lip stings, but she sits taller, her eyes glinting with defiance. She's out of jail, but not out of the fight, and Hale's voice on that intercom means he's watching, waiting to bury her deeper. The train hums, snow streaking the windows, and she waits, her body broken but her will iron ready for the next blow. Nia Jackson crouches in the baggage car, her torn gray suit smeared with mustard from the passenger's trash barrage, her ribs a throbbing cage around her lungs, her split lip stinging with every breath. The tablet in her tote flickers at 3%, the viral video's views now at 90,000, Hale's legal ambush and intercom taunt turning the train into a prison of hate. Her boots press against the cold floor, the suitcases towering around her like a crumbling fortress, and the train hums onward, slicing through snowy plains toward Denver, the night outside a swirl of white. She's battered, her freedom from jail a hollow win after the mob's assault, but she's not broken. Not yet. Her hazel eyes glint with fury, her mind racing, Hale's voice a ghost in her ears. Stay vigilant. A command that unleashed the chaos. She needs to strike back, to flip this nightmare, and she's got one card left, her CEO title, a secret she's held tight. She pulls the tablet, its screen dim, and hacks the train's speaker system. Her tech skills, a lifeline in the dark. Her fingers tremble, but she records, her voice steady as steel. "This is Nia Jackson, your new CEO of Horizon Rail Lines. Carl Withers attacked me, faked that video. He's fired, effective now." She broadcasts it live, the words booming, Through every car, a thunderclap of truth. Cheers erupt, faint at first, then louder, passengers gasping, "She's the boss?" The Pearl Lady's voice cuts through, shrill with shock. "That can't be right." Nia's lips twitch, a flicker of triumph, her power unveiled at last. She's turned the tide, she thinks, the mob's hate faltering under her claim. Then the lights flicker, a sharp buzz ripping through the car, and the train lurches, brakes squealing as it slows to a halt. Darkness swallows the baggage car, the air turning frigid, a blizzard howling outside, snow pelting the windows. Nia's breath fogs, her victory snuffed out in an instant, and the intercom crackles. Richard Hale's voice smooth and venomous. "Technical difficulties, folks. Due to our new CEO's incompetence. Stay calm." Her stomach twists, the cheers, turning to murmurs, then shouts, "She broke the train. Get her out." Hales flipped it, her bold move a boomerang, and she realizes he's cut the power, stranding them in this frozen hell. The tablet dies, its battery gone, and she tucks it away, her mind racing. This isn't a glitch, it's sabotage, Hale's counterstrike, and he's pinned it on her. She stumbles to a window, the glass icing over, and sees the blizzard raging, a white wall swallowing the tracks. Voices echo from the first-class car. "She's a fraud. This is her fault." And she knows Hales leaked it to the press. A headline already forming, "CEO's first day cripples Horizon." Her ribs ache, her body shivering, but she moves, finding a flashlight tucked in a crate, its beam weak but steady. She rallies, banging on the car's wall, shouting, "We need heat now!" A few passengers, new faces from Chicago, peer in, their eyes wary but desperate, the cold biting them too. "Help me," she says, her voice firm, and they hesitate, then nod. A burly man in a parka grabbing blankets, a woman with a scarf prying open a vent. Nia directs them, her CEO mask on, and they work, jury-rigging a heater from spare parts, the car warming slowly, steam rising as snow melts off the floor. The group softens, the man muttering, "You're not what they said," and the woman nodding, "Hale's a liar." Nia's chest swells, a fragile trust blooming, and she thinks she's won them, turned this disaster into a lifeline. The lights flicker back, dim but alive, and the train groans, inching forward, the heat holding. She's done it, she thinks, saved them, proved her worth. But her tote buzzes. A burner phone from Elena stashed inside. A last gift from her lawyer. She answers, her breath catching as Maya's voice crackles through. "Hale's rallying the board, Nia. They're voting to oust you in New York, blaming the blackout. You've got hours." Nia's blood runs cold, her triumph ash in her mouth. Hale's next blow, a corporate guillotine she didn't see coming. The passengers around her smile, oblivious, their trust a fleeting shield against the storm brewing ahead. She hangs up, her hands shaking, the burner phone warm against her palm, and sinks back, her ribs a dull roar. Hale's not just stranding her, he's erasing her, turning her moment of glory into a noose, and the board's his weapon, poised to strike before she can reach her throne. The train picks up speed, snow streaking past, and she grips the phone, her mind sharpening. She's got their heat, their faith, but Hale's got her future in his fist, and this blackout's just the start. Her suit's a wreck, her body's breaking, but she sits tall, her eyes blazing, ready for the fight she can't lose. Who else is raging at Hale's dirty game? Comment number 1 if you're sick of seeing Nia get hit from every angle, or number 2 if you're betting on her to outsmart this corporate snake. Like this video if you're hooked on her clawing her way up, and subscribe to catch every brutal twist. Ever had someone sabotage your big moment just to watch you crash? Drop your story below. Let's vent this fury together. So, how's Nia? Gonna dodge Hale's boardroom blade? And what's his next play to bury her alive? Keep watching, it's about to explode. Nia Jackson leans against a suitcase stack in the baggage car, her torn gray suit crusted with mustard and snow, her ribs a throbbing mess from Carl's rooftop baton, her split lip raw under the dim light. The burner phone in her tote hums with Maya's warning. Hale's rallying the board to oust you, a corporate axe hanging over her neck as the train chugs out of Denver, the blizzard thinning into a gray dawn. Her breath steams in the warming air, the passengers she rallied, to fix the heat now scattered back to their cars, their fragile trust a fleeting victory against Hale's blackout sabotage. She's still CEO, her broadcast a lifeline that turned some heads. But Hale's lie, her incompetence broke the train, clings like damp rot, and the board's vote looms closer with every mile to New York. Her hazel eyes narrow, her mind churning, when the phone buzzes again. A text from an unknown number. Check Horizon alerts. She frowns, pulling it out, and opens the app. Her stomach sinking as a flood of passenger messages pop up. Hale's handiwork glaring in red text. Nia Jackson's a fraud, endangering us all. Demand her removal. The words twist her gut, his sabotage now a rallying cry, and she hears it. A low rumble growing from the first-class car, footsteps thundering closer. She stands, her legs shaky, and moves to the dining car ahead. It's glass doors gleaming, table set with half-eaten breakfast, the air thick with coffee and tension. The doors burst open, a mob pouring in, 20 strong, their faces twisted with rage, led by a wiry man in a leather jacket, his eyes wild. There, she is, he bellows, pointing, and they surge, a wave of hate crashing toward her. You crashed the train! A woman in a green scarf shrieks, hurling a glass bottle, the shards exploding at Nia's feet. Liar! A teen in a hoodie yells, chucking a plate, the porcelain smashing against the wall, grazing her shoulder. Nia ducks, her ribs screaming. As she stumbles back, the mob closing in, their voices a roar of racial slurs. Thug. Trash. Each word a brick in Hale's wall. She grabs a chair, shoving it between them, her hands trembling but her voice firm. Stop. I'm your CEO, I saved you. The wiry man laughs, a harsh bark, and kicks the chair aside, his boot cracking wood. CEO? You're a joke. Bottles fly, a fork stabs the air, and she dives behind a table, flipping it for cover, her tote slipping but still hooked on her arm. The mob pounds the wood, fists and feet splintering it, their chants swelling. Out! Out! She scrambles, her knees scraping tile, and grabs the dining car's mic, her last shot. She hacks it on, her voice blasting through the train. This is Nia Jackson. Hale's lying. He cut the power, not me. Check the logs, he's framing me. The mob falters, the wiry man pausing, his bottle midair, and murmurs ripple. Logs. Framing. She holds her breath, her ribs a firestorm, and thinks she's turned them, their hate cracking under truth. Then a click echoes. The doors, locking with a mechanical thud, Hale's voice purring over the intercom. She's delusional, folks. Stay safe. We've contained her. The mob roars back to life, fiercer now. The wiry man smashing a chair, splinters flying. She's trapped us. The woman in the scarf swings a tray, metal clanging as it clips Nia's arm, blood welling under her sleeve. She bolts, weaving through tables, her legs burning, the mob hot on her heels, makeshift weapons gleaming, a broom handle, a butter knife, their screams a deafening tide. Get her! The teen howls, lunging with a fork, and Nia dodges, her shoulders slamming a wall, pain exploding down her spine. She spots a vent high up, rusted but wide, and leaps, her fingers clawing the edge, her ribs shrieking as she hauls herself in. The mob claws at her legs, the wiry man's nails raking her ankle, but she kicks free, crawling into the duct, metal groaning under her weight. Her tote snags, but she yanks it through, her breath ragged as she inches forward. The dining car's chaos fading below. The vents tight, dust choking her lungs, and she collapses at a junction, her body a wreck, blood dripping from her arm, her ankle torn. The passenger's shouts echo. She's gone! Find her! But the vent hides her, a brittle sanctuary. Her mind spins, Hale's lock a death trap flipped into a riot, his lie reigniting the mob she'd calmed. She pulls the burner phone, its screen dim, and texts Maya. Hale locked me in. Mob attacked. Logs prove he cut power. Leak it. The battery's at 10%, a miracle from Elena's foresight, and she tucks it away, her chest heaving. This isn't just hate now, it's Hale's war, turning passengers into soldiers. Her CEO claim a spark he's dousing with blood. Her broadcast slowed them, but his lock reversed it, a masterstroke she didn't see coming. The train hums, the duct rattling, and she wipes her arm. blood smearing her fingers, her ribs a dull roar from the earlier beating. She's alive, barely, her strength fraying, but her will's iron forged in every blow. Hale's not stopping, he's escalating, and the board's vote looms, a guillotine she can't outrun. The vent's cold seeps in, her suit a ruin, but she shifts, her eyes blazing, plotting her next move in this shrinking cage. Nia Jackson lies sprawled in the train's ventilation duct, her torn gray suit a blood-streaked rag, mustard and snow crusted into the fabric, her ribs a pulsing agony from Carl's baton and the mob's tray. Her split lip throbs, her arm bleeds from a jagged cut, and her ankle stings where the wiry man's nails raked her during her escape from the dining car. The duct's metal presses cold against her back, dust clogging her throat, the faint roar of the mob below a dull hum through the walls. The burner phone in her tote glows at 10%. Maya's last text. Logs prove he cut power. A lifeline she's clinging to as the train barrels through the Midwest. Dawn breaking gray and bleak outside. Her broadcast slowed the mob, but Hale's lock turned them savage, and the board's vote to oust her looms closer, a noose tightening with every mile to New York. She shifts, wincing as her ribs protest, and pulls the phone, its signal flickering, but alive. She dials her sister Keisha in New York, her voice a rasp as it connects. "Kay, you okay? This trip's a war zone." Keisha's laugh crackles through, warm but strained. "I'm good, sis, just chilling with coffee. You sound like hell, though." Nia's chest eases, a flicker of relief, but then Keisha gasps. A crash exploding in the background, glass shattering, wood splintering. "What the? Nia, someone's here!" Keisha screams, the line cutting to static. Nia's blood freezes, her hand shaking as she redials, the call dropping instantly. No signal. Her mind reels, Hale's shadow stretching from this train to her family. A new low she didn't see coming. She texts Maya, her fingers frantic. "Hale's goons hit Keisha's place. Get her safe now." The battery dips to 8%, and she shoves the phone back, her breath hitching. She's got to fight back, expose this, and she crawls, her elbows scraping metal, until she finds a vent grill overlooking the dining car. The mob's gone, tables overturned, glass glittering on the floor, and she pries the grill loose, dropping into the wreckage, her boots crunching debris. Her tote snags, but she yanks it free, her ribs a firestorm as she stumbles to a wall panel, hacking the train's Wi-Fi again. She uploads a video, her face bruised, bloodied, her voice raw but commanding. "Richard Hale's targeting my sister. Sent thugs to her home. He's the fraud. Check the power logs. He's endangering us all." She posts it online. The signal. Weak but enough, and it spreads. Views ticking up fast, 10,000, 20,000, comments flooding. "Save her. Hale's a monster." Nia's chest swells, the public swinging her way, a roar of support she thinks will shield Keisha. Bury Hale. She's won, she believes, her family safe, his lies cracking under the weight of truth. Then the train lurches, a sickening jolt, and she's thrown against a table, her shoulder slamming wood, pain exploding down her arm. The lights flicker, the intercom silent, and the car tilts, metal groaning as it accelerates, a runaway beast hurtling off course. Screams erupt from the cars ahead, passengers clawing at windows, and Nia staggers to her feet, her mind racing. Hale's hacked the brakes, she realizes, his counterstrike a death machine, not just for her but everyone aboard. She runs, her legs trembling, through the dining car's wreckage, past overturned chairs and shattered plates, toward the engine car, her tote bouncing, her ribs a dull roar. The train shakes, the speed climbing, 70, 80 miles an hour, the tracks curving sharp ahead, a derailment seconds away. She bursts into the engine room, the control panel a chaos of flashing lights, the engineer slumped, unconscious, a bloody gash on his head. Hale's work. Nia grabs the manual override, her hands slick with sweat, and pulls, the lever grinding stiff under her grip. The brakes screech, metal on metal, sparks flying outside, and the train slows, shuddering as it rights itself, the curve looming but passable. Passengers scream, "We're alive!" and collapse, sobbing, their hands pressed to glass. Nia sinks to the floor, her chest heaving, her arm numb, blood dripping from her cut, the tote still hooked on her shoulder. She saved them, stopped Hale's massacre, and the public's on her side. Keisha's plight a rallying cry. Then the intercom crackles, Hale's voice smooth and chilling. "You'll never make it to New York alive, Nia. This isn't over." Her victory crumbles, his threat a dagger in the quiet, the train steady but her world tilting. She pulls the phone, 6%, and texts Maya. "Keisha hit, train braked, Hale's still coming. Get her out." The engineer stirs, groaning, and Nia stands, her legs weak, her body a wreck but her eyes blaze. Hale's not just after her job now, he's after her blood, her family, everyone, and this near derailment's proof he'll burn it all to stop her. The train hums, the planes stretching endless outside, snow dusting the windows, and she grips the panel, her knuckles white. She's saved the train, maybe Keisha, but Hale's voice means he's got more, a final blow she can't dodge yet. Her suit's a ruin, her strength fading, but she straightens, her will unbowed, ready for the endgame. Nia Jackson staggers against the engine car's control panel, her torn gray suit a blood-soaked ruin, mustard and snow crusted into the fabric, her ribs a searing ache from Carl's baton and the mob's tray, her split lip throbbing with every ragged breath. Her arm bleeds from the dining car cut, her ankle stings from the wiry man's nails, and the burner phone in her tote clings to 6%. Maya's last text. Keisha hit, train braked, a fragile lifeline. The train hums steady now. The brakes she yanked, saving it from Hale's derailment, passengers sobbing in relief beyond the walls, their screams still echoing in her skull. Hale's voice lingers. "You'll never make it to New York alive," a promise that chills her blood. The board's vote to oust her a shadow closing in. Her hazel eyes blaze, her body a wreck but her will iron, and she knows this ends now. Hale's war won or lost in these final miles. She stumbles from the engine room, her boots slick with the engineer's blood, and heads for the control car ahead, the nerve center of Horizon Rail Lines' flagship train, her tote bouncing against her hip. The door's locked, but she hacks it with a wrench from a toolbox, the metal groaning as it gives, and she steps in, the air thick with ozone and steel. Richard Hale stands there, a towering figure in a crisp black suit, his silver hair gleaming. Under the car's lights, a pistol in his hand, its barrel glinting cold. His lips curl, a sneer carving his weathered face, and Nia freezes, her breath catching, the wrench heavy in her grip. "You're a stubborn one, Jackson," he says, his voice smooth as oil, dripping with contempt. "Thought you'd be dead by now." She straightens, her ribs screaming, and meets his gaze, her voice raw but steady. "Put it down, Hale. You're done." He laughs, a harsh, guttural sound, and steps closer, the gun steady. "Done? I built this company, not some upstart like you. People like you don't belong here." The slur's unspoken but hangs heavy, his racism a blade he's wielded since she rose at Horizon. She shifts, her tote slipping, and he fires, the shot grazing her arm, blood blooming fresh as she dives behind a console, pain exploding down her side. "You're a stain I'm erasing," he roars, his boots thudding as he advances, firing, again the bullet ricocheting off steel, sparks flying. Nia's mind races, her body fading, and she grabs the wrench, her fingers slick with sweat and blood. He rounds the console, his gun aimed, his rant spilling. "I'll keep you out of power, out of my world, you hear me?" She lunges, the wrench swinging and cracks his wrist, the gun clattering to the floor. He howls, clutching his arm, and she kicks it away, the pistol skidding under a seat. Hale charges, his bulk slamming her into the wall, her ribs cracking, audibly, her vision blurring as he pins her, his hands clawing for her throat. "You're nothing," he spits, his breath hot on her face, and she twists, her knee slamming his groin, his grip loosening as he doubles over, gasping. She grabs, the console's mic hacking it live, her voice ragged but fierce. "This is Nia Jackson, your CEO. Hale's confessing, attacking me now, hear it." His snarls broadcast, "I'll kill you, you don't deserve this." And the train speakers carry it, passengers gasping beyond the walls, phones out, recording. Nia shoves him off, her strength waning, and he stumbles, his silver hair wild, his eyes manic. She snatches the wrench again, swinging hard, cracking his knee, and he collapses, his leg buckling, his curses a broken stream. The train slows, New York's skyline looming. Through the windows, dawn painting the towers gold and sirens wail, cops boarding as it grinds into Penn Station. They burst in, guns drawn, and cuff Hale, his suit rumpled, his wrist swollen, his face a mask of rage as they drag him off, his screams fading. "This isn't over!" Nia leans against the console, her chest heaving, blood pooling at her feet, her tote still hooked on her arm. She's won, she thinks. Hale's confession live, his reign shattered, the passengers' cheers filtering through. "She's our CEO! He's gone!" Her lips twitch, a flicker of triumph, her body a wreck but her spirit soaring. Then the burner phone buzzes, Maya's voice crackling. "Nia, the board voted you out. Hale's allies pushed it through minutes ago. You're done." Her heart stops, the victory ash in her mouth, the cops hauling Hale away a hollow win. She collapses, her knees hitting steel, the wrench clattering beside her, her ribs a firestorm, her arm numb. The passengers cheer, oblivious, their faith in her a cruel echo as Hale's final blow lands, his allies stealing her throne at the finish line. The control car's lights flicker, New York's bustle seeping in, and she sits, her breath shallow, blood dripping, her tote a battered shield. Hale's cuffed, his confession viral, but the board's coup guts her, a betrayal she didn't see, his reach stretching beyond this train. Her suit's a ruin, her strength gone, but her eyes glint, her mind racing, the fight not over, not yet. Nia Jackson slumps against the control car's console, her torn gray suit a blood-drenched wreck, mustard and snow crusted into the fabric, her ribs a shattered furnace from Carl's baton, and Hale's slam, her split lip pulsing with every shallow breath. Her arm bleeds from his gunshot graze, her ankle throbs from the mob's clawing, and the burner phone in her tote sits at 6%. Maya's last call. The board voted you out. A gut punch that echoes as cops drag Richard Hale away, his silver hair wild, his wrists cuffed, his screams fading into New York's Penn Station. The train stopped, its hum silent, dawn spilling gold through the windows, passengers cheering beyond the walls. "She's our CEO!" Hale's gone! Her confession broadcast, his racist rant live for the world, 90,000 views and climbing, should be her triumph. But the board's coup steals it, Hale's allies snatching her title at the finish line. Blood pools at her feet, her tote, a battered lifeline, and she stands, her legs trembling, her hazel eyes blazing through the pain. The cops vanish with Hale, their boots echoing, and passengers flood the platform, their faces a mix of awe and guilt. The Pearl Lady's pearls glinting as she stares, pinstripe suits cufflinks dull in the light. "You saved us," a burly man from Denver mutters, his parka stained, and the woman with the scarf nods. "Hale's the monster." Nia's chest swells, their trust a fragile balm, but Maya's words claw at her. The board's betrayal a noose she can't shake. She limps forward, her boots scuffing steel, and steps onto the platform, the cold air biting her wounds, her tote slung over her shoulder. The crowd parts, their cheers swelling, phones out, filming. "Nia! Nia!" A chant that lifts her, bloodied but unbowed. She pauses, her ribs a dull roar, and turns, her voice raw but steady. "I'm still here, and I'm not done." The crowd roars, a wave of sound, and she thinks it's enough, their faith a shield against the board's knife. Then she drops it, her secret weapon cold and deliberate. 3 weeks ago, I bought Horizon Rail Line's parent company, Apex Transit. The board's vote? Void. I own it all. The air freezes, jaws drop, the Pearl Lady gasps, her hand. Clutching her throat, pinstripe suit stumbles, his face pale. "What?" a teen in a hoodie whispers, and the burly man gapes. "She's the boss of everything?" Nia's lips curve, a faint, fierce smile, her eyes glinting with ice. "Hale's finished, and so are his cronies. I'm firing them now." She pulls the burner phone, its screen dim, and dials Maya, her voice a blade. "Video call the board, live stream it." The signal's weak, but it connects, the boardroom flickering onto her screen. 10 suits around a polished table. There, faces smug until they see her, bruised, bloody, standing tall. "You're out," she says, her tone glacial. "Every one of you who backed Hale. Terminated, effective, immediately." The chairman, a balding man with a red tie, sputters, "You can't, we voted." Nia cuts him off. "Apex owns Horizon and I own Apex. Check the filings, you're done." The stream goes viral. Views exploding, 20,000, 50,000, the crowd around her cheering, "Yes, burn it down." She ends the call, the board's protests silenced, and turns to the passengers, her voice rising. "This company's mine, and I'm tearing out every racist root Hale planted. You'll see a Horizon that values everyone, no exceptions." The roar shakes the station, hands clapping, tears streaming, the woman with the scarf sobbing, "Thank you." Nia's chest tightens, her ribs a firestorm, but she stands taller, her suit a ruin, her body breaking, her spirit soaring. Hale's dragged off, his screams a distant echo. "I'll be back." But he's nothing now, a cuffed relic she's crushed. The crowd presses closer, their faith a wall she's built from their hate, and she limps through, her tote heavy, her steps slow but sure. She's won. The train hers, the company hers, Hale's empire ash under her boots, and she vows to reshape it. A legacy for Keisha, for every soul they've tried to bury. Then the phone buzzes, a text from Maya. "Keisha's safe, but there's chatter. Someone worse than Hale's rising, watching you." Nia's breath catches, her triumph shadowed. A new threat looming, darker, sharper, a storm she can't see yet. She tucks the phone away, her eyes narrowing, the station's bustle a dull roar around her. Blood drips from her arm, her ribs crack with every step, but she walks on, her silhouette stark against the dawn, a warrior scarred but unbroken. The passengers chant her name, their voices a tide, and she nods, her vow a whisper. "I'll be ready." The city stretches before, her towers gleaming, a battlefield she's claimed but not secured. Not yet. Nia Jackson's journey on the Horizon Rail Lines train teaches us raw, unfiltered truths about resilience, power, and the fight against systemic racism. At 333 words, this takeaway digs deep. First, Nia shows that strength isn't just physical, it's mental. A fire that burns through every assault, coffee spills, false accusations, mob violence, and corporate betrayal. She faced a gauntlet of hate, from Carl's petty cruelty to Hale's lethal schemes. Yet she stood tall, proving that endurance outlasts oppression. Second, her story screams that silence isn't an option. Exposing injustice like her live broadcasts, flips the script on liars and forces accountability. Third, power isn't handed over, it's seized. Nia's secret ownership of Apex Transit wasn't luck, it was strategy. A reminder to build your own leverage when the system locks you out. Fourth, allies can turn venomous, like Jamal's betrayal, teaching vigilance even in desperation. Finally, victory's never clean. Hale's downfall came with a new threat lurking, a nod that the fight against racism is a marathon, not a sprint. Nia's scars, bloodied ribs, torn suit, mirror the cost. But her vow to dismantle prejudice at Horizon shines as a beacon. Change starts with one unbowed soul. So, what's your takeaway? How do you keep fighting when the world's against you? Drop number 1 in the comments if Nia's grit inspires you to stand up. Like this video if you're fired up by her comeback. Subscribe for more tales of defiance, and share to spread her fire. Thanks for riding this brutal, beautiful journey with us. Here's to breaking chains and building legacies one story at a time.